Sit in any comfortable position for starting the class. Spine straight. Adopt chin mudra. Eyes closed. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale for 3 times song followed by opening mantra. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचाम् मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। Join your both palm together in front of heart center. Bow down your head slowly and gently while blinking. Open your eyes. Om Shanti. So our today's topic is types of synovial joints. So there is 6 types of synovial joints. The first one is hinge joint, Hinge, hinge joint. Second is pivot joint, Pivot, pivot joint. Third one is ellipsoid joint. Third one is ellipsoid joint, also known as condyle joint, CONDYLE, condyle joint or ellipsoid joint, ELLIPSOID, ellipsoid joint or condyle joint. The fourth joint is saddle joint, SADDLE, saddle joint. Fifth one is gliding joint, GLIDING, gliding joint. And the last joint is ball and socket joint, BALL, ball and SOCKET, socket joint. So these are the 6 types of synovial joints. Synovial joints, those who are most movable joints in our body, known as synovial joints. So these are the parts of synovial joint, types of synovial joints. So let's start with first type of synovial joint, that is hinge joint. hinge joint that provides movement primarily in one plane. It provides movement primarily at one plane, means one bone movable and one bone constant. It moves only one way. The examples are elbow joint. It moves only one plane and one way. It not going opposite direction. The next example is knee joint, same as elbow. Elbow joint, knee joint, and interphalangeal joint. Our interphalangeal joints are hinge joint. In this joint, both bones fits together. One have concave portion and one have convex portion. So both bones fits together perfectly and they provide movement at one plane in one way movement. This is monoaxial joint. The next joint is pivot joint. Pivot joint provides rotation. It provides rotation around only one axis. It provides rotation only one axis. In this joint, the rounded bone fits into a shallow depression, SHALLOW, shallow depression in another bone. In this joint, the rounded shape of bone fits in another bone that has shallow depression and it provides rotation. The example of pivot joint is 𝐷𝐿𝐴𝐥𝐴𝐬𝐴𝐥𝐴𝐬𝐿 joint. 𝐷𝐿𝐴𝐥𝐴𝐬𝐿 joint of our first and second vertebra that provide rotation to our head. Left to right, right to left. That is the example of pivot joint. One other example is radio-ulnar joint between the bone of radius joint between radius bone and ulna bone. This rotation. And now come to heart joint. That is ellipsoid joint, ellipsoid, ellipsoid joint, or condyle joint, CONDYLE, ellipsoid or condyle joint. ellipsoid joint or condyle joint. It provides movement in two planes, back and forth and side to side. It provides movement in two planes, back and forth and side to side. It is biaxial joint. It is biaxial joint. Ellipsoid joint is biaxial joint. In this joint, an oval shaped condyle, in this joint, an oval shaped condyle of one bone fits into ellipsoid cavity of another bone. In this joint, condyle shape of one bone fits into ellipsoid cavity in another bone, and it provides back and forth and side to side movement. The examples are the joint between metacarpals and phalanges. Joint between metacarpals and phalanges. Metacarpophalangeal joints. METACARPO, metacarpophalangeal. PHALANGEAL, metacarpophalangeal joints. Same in foot. Metatarsophalangeal joint. Metatarsophalangeal joint. Metacarpophalangeal joint and metatarsophalangeal joints are the good example of ellipsoid joint because it provides forth and back movement, forth and back movement, and slightly side movement. So these are the example of condyle joint or ellipsoid joint. One more example, radiocarpal joint, the joint between radius bone and carpal. Radius bone and carpal. It provides forth and back movement and side to side movement. Now move to next joint, that is saddle joint. Saddle joint. Saddle joints are similar to condyle joint. Saddle joints are similar to condyle joints, but the connecting bones are more shaped like saddle. Saddle joints are similar to condyle joint, but connecting joints are shaped more like interlocking saddles. It's shaped more like interlocking saddles. This allows greater range of motion. This allows greater range of motion than hinge joint, but not allow complete rotation. But not allow complete rotation. The example of saddle joint is the joint of carpal and metacarpal of thumb. Joint of carpal, joint between carpal and metacarpal of thumb. Means carpo-metacarpal joint of thumb. Carpo-metacarpal joint of thumb is the example of saddle joint. It provides greater range of motion. The next joint is gliding joint. Next joint is gliding joint. This type of joint provides only forth and back movement or side to side movement. This type of joints provides only back and forth movement or side to side movement. There is no rotation or no twisting. There is no rotation and no twisting is possible at this type of joint because bones are packed closely to each other. In this type of joint, there is no rotation and no twisting is possible because bones are packed closely together. The example of gliding joints are intercarpal joints. Intercarpal joints, there are 8 carpal bones. The movement between 8 carpal bones comes under gliding joint because there is only sliding movement. Only slides, they can only slides. There is no twisting and rotation possible. Only sliding is possible. And the next example is intertarsal joint. Intercarpal joints, intertarsal joints. The third example is sternoclavicular joint. This is also gliding joint. Sternoclavicular joint, and next one is acromioclavicular joint. Acromioclavicular joint, the acromion process provided by scapula, which make joint with clavicle, that is collarbone. So sternoclavicular joint and acromioclavicular joint are the example of gliding joint. The next example is at the lower back, that is sacroiliac joint. Sacroiliac joint. The sacrum bone of vertebral column makes joint with ilium bone of hip at sacroiliac joint, that is example of gliding joint. Only gliding movement is there. So let's move towards sixth and last joint. Sixth and last joint, that is ball and socket joint. It provides greater range of motion. It provides greater range of motion in all synovial joints. It provides greater range of motion, means it provides rotation. And it found only two places. It found only two places in human body. One at shoulder joint and second one is hip joint. One at shoulder joint at glenoid cavity. The glenoid cavity provided by scapula, where humerus head articulates. The glenoid cavity is a socket type structure where humerus head, that is ball type structure, make articulation, and in hip there is acetabulum, that is socket type structure provided by hip bone, where femur head, that is thigh bone, femur is thigh bone, femur head means proximal end of femur, that have a ball type structure, articulates in acetabulum. So there is only two places, total 4 places, means two side. Every side there is two places where ball and socket joint found. One in shoulder girdle, left shoulder and right shoulder, and second in hip girdle, left and right side. So this was all about types of synovial joints. I hope you understood this point. And now I am going to close the class. So sit in any comfortable position. Adopt chin mudra, eyes closed. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale for one time, followed by closing mantra. Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pasyanto. Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om. Santi, Santi, Santi. Join your both palm together in front of heart center. Bow down your head towards God, towards Mother Nature. Rub your both palms. Apply an eyes. Slowly and gently while blinking, open your eyes. Om Shanti.